This is a true story. The 90s was the decade of the internet. Back then, the hottest application was the Microsoft Explorer. Most of us grew up using it to access the internet, and it remained number one browser for almost 2 decades. But by late 2010s, something impossible was starting to happen. Even though there was almost no visible difference, we were all changing our browser, and suddenly a new one came along and became the first choice. This was Google Chrome. The circular logo that we all used to click and prefer over another one which is sitting right next to it, the Microsoft Explorer. Do you know how Google pulled off this amazing feat? Well, that's exactly what this video is about. The person who led this growth of the Google Chrome is none other than Sunder Pichai. He used a framework which is known as the OKR. And to understand what an OKR is, we need to go to the late 60s. That's when the legendary founder of Intel, Andy Grove, put forth his framework to drive Intel towards absolute leadership in the microchip industry. OKR stands for Objective and Key Results. The objective is about setting a direction. It must be meaningful. It should set a clear direction, and it must be inspiring. Keeping this in mind, Sunder Pichai chose the objective to build the best browser. He rallied his team to make it happen. The K and the R stand for Key Results. According to Andy Grove, it is simply a goal that can tell you if you have done something or you haven't. They are the benchmarks by which you will track progress towards completing your objectives. At Google, Sunder Pichai decided that the key results in order to track the objective was the number of users, and he set an audacious goal of 20 million by the end of 2008. He could then simply check if he had achieved the result or not. As you can see, he did not achieve the goal in 2008. But then he rallied his team to again stretch and aspire a still higher goal of 50 million by 2010. He missed again. But then he again raised the goal to 100 million, and then he did beat this goal. Chrome was suddenly at 110 million users. Eventually, the power of OKR led Google to be available on all devices: iPhone, iPad, Windows, and of course on all Android devices. Whichever platform the world would choose, it would eventually choose Chrome. That's the power behind the OKRs. It can help one to set audacious goals and then drive towards achieving them. You can also use the OKRs to lead your team and even to transform your life. All the very best.